Hey, what is up, fight fans? In today's video, Makhachev and Poirier will be the first fighters to enter the octagon wearing golden gloves, which will be equipped with some chips, and the fighters will no longer be able to poke each other in the eyes.
That's way better. These are definitely better than the ones UFC's using right now. Yeah.
These guys missed out on one of the greatest knockouts of all time because their stream froze.
Oh! I fucking told you, I knew it!
Also in the video, Michael Chandler delivered a dire warning to Conor McGregor, vowing, "In the second round, I will either knock him out or take his soul through his esophagus." The incumbent UFC light heavyweight champion made quick work of Jamal Hill last Saturday, stopping him in just the first round. After the fight, he threw out the ambitious idea of not only fighting as soon as next month in Brazil, but doing so at heavyweight. Alexander Volkanovski tells his construction workers that he used to be a UFC champion and that he beat Max Holloway 3 times. Topuria said that the UFC might want him to fight not in Spain, but in the Sphere in September. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, in a thrilling development for UFC 302, Islam Makhachev is on the verge of etching his name into the annals of UFC history. As he prepares for his upcoming bout, Makhachev stands on the precipice of securing his 14th consecutive victory, a feat that will elevate him into the elite circle of fighters with the longest winning streaks in the organization. Now, currently he shares the record of 13 consecutive wins with legends like Khabib Nurmagomedov, trailing behind Anderson Silva's 16 and Kamaru Usman's 15 consecutive victories. Adding a layer of excitement to UFC 302 is the introduction of some new updated golden gloves, and Makhachev and Poirier will be the first fighters to appear in the octagon wearing these golden gloves. So how are these new gloves different from the old ones? Well, the glove is undergoing some major changes. A notable upgrade is the new tight-fitting clasp around the athlete's hands, which not only provides increased protection against injuries, but also prevents the possibility of fighters inserting their fingers into opponents' gloves during ground combat. Additionally, these new gloves are lighter, weighing approximately 28 grams less than their predecessors, which could offer fighters quicker hand speed and less fatigue. Key among these changes is the glove design that makes it more challenging for fighters to open their palms, significantly reducing the risk of accidental eye pokes, which is a common concern in the UFC. And then adding a technological edge, the gloves now include embedded chips, enabling real-time data collection. This advancement will provide valuable insights into the fighter's performance metrics during fights, revolutionizing how stats are used and understood in mixed martial arts. With these gloves, the UFC aims to enhance fighter safety, hoping to drastically decrease the occurrence of eye-related injuries and ensure fair, more uninterrupted bouts. The sporting community and fans alike are eagerly awaiting the debut of these gloves. Hopefully, they will bring a new era of safety and integrity to the sport.
And still, world champion! Still!
Pereira's manager said that Alex will not be competing at the UFC tournament in Brazil, saying this will not happen under no circumstances, especially now that Pereira has broken his toe again, said his manager Jorge Guimarães. He needs to go to the hospital, rest, and celebrate his victory. Maybe he could go to Brazil to watch the tournament, but Alex will not fight.
He broke his toe 2 weeks ago, and he fought tonight with a broken toe. I thought he broke his toe in the fight, and his team's like, no, he broke his fight 2 weeks ago, and he's like, yeah, I ain't losing this opportunity for a fucking pinky toe. That's what he said.
And Pereira himself confirmed that he wants to see the fight between the Czech Jiří Procházka and the American Jamal Hill, saying, "I want to see the fight between Jiří and Jamal," he posted on social media. As you already know, Alex Pereira wanted to move up to heavyweight, as Pereira at heavyweight does not seem like a bad idea, and there are certainly some interesting matchups in the weight class for him. This includes a fight against interim champ Tom Aspinall. But the question should be asked, is now the right time for Alex to chase another belt? If the light heavyweight division was moving slowly at the moment and there was time for Alex to try something else, it would make sense. But he is simply not in that situation at the moment. Second-ranked Magomed Ankalaev is in great positioning for another shot at the title, coming off a dominant finish win over Johnny Walker in January. And riding the momentum of his win against Alexander Rakic on Saturday, Procházka has the case to eventually get another chance as well. There are other names rising up the rankings that in a year or so could also be solid names to challenge Alex. And if he hopes to maintain champion status at light heavyweight, it feels right to say he should establish his run a little bit more before looking outside of his division.
Out of that top 5, no disrespect to any of them, the one that has the best shot of beating Alex Pereira is Magomed Ankalaev. So another option would be fight Tom Aspinall for the interim title at UFC Manchester, which is going down this summer. Tom Aspinall's smart though, and he's not going to stand there and play that game with Alex Pereira. So right now, I don't think the thing to do for Alex Pereira is to fight Tom Aspinall. Listen, I'm not saying he would 100% get beat, but more than likely on paper, Tom would take him down. He would out-wrestle him and, beat him in that fashion.
Former UFC champ in 2 different weight categories and now Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier wonders how Pereira was able to achieve all of this when he simply does not know how to wrestle.
That is why my reaction is such. I always go, and when I'm sitting there at night and I'm going, how's he doing this? When, Chael, with all due respect, because Alex and I have a great relationship, he can't wrestle. He does not know how to wrestle. When they grab his leg, he kind of just falls down. He can't wrestle.
Offensively or defensively. Correct.
No. When he can't wrestle, I'm like, how is this happening when he can't wrestle? But he has got this singular skill set that is so good that it does not matter what he can't do.
Right, just back from Vegas. Was over there doing YouTube stuff, meetings, all that stuff. Had a meeting with the UFC. It has now been confirmed that I am fighting on UFC Manchester, so I'm back home preparing for that now. Started the early stages of training camp, just waiting for my opponent to accept. So stay tuned, keep up with the socials, keep up with the YouTube channel, and I'll be announcing it very soon.
Michael Chandler delivered a dire warning for Conor McGregor.
What round will you finish Conor? I will still believe that my Mystic Mike prediction is I finish him in the second round. Get him on his heels in the first round, make him second guess himself from the first round, make him realize, dadgummit, I probably should have just stayed rich and stayed out of the fight game. And he'll start to plant those, I will start planting those seeds of doubt in the first round. By the end of the first round, he will go back to his bench. He will go back to his corner, huffing and puffing, and realizing that he's about to meet his demise. He's going to start looking for the exit signs, and I'm going to usher him right to there. I might even hold his hand on the way to the exit sign. I might even get a little tap on the tush on the way outside of the exit sign. So that's the plan in the second round. KO, TKO, or I take his back and absolutely steal his soul through his esophagus.
In a recent interview with The Mac Life, Chandler congratulated Holloway on his victory and discussed the possibility of challenging him for the BMF title after his fight against McGregor.
Max would be a guy I would love to fight for that belt at some point. Obviously I got a job to take care of here in 76 days. But man, I would love to fight for that BMF belt eventually too, and the lightweight belt as well.
Ilia Topuria said that the UFC might want him to go fight not in Spain, but in the Sphere in September.
Have they talked to you about when they want you to fight again, or what they're thinking, or when they have you scheduled? Something like, have there been those talks with the UFC brass?
Yeah, maybe. I think they want me to fight in the Sphere in September. So we'll see how they're gonna figure out the things. At the same time, we want to go in Spain. We want to bring the UFC here in the first trimester of the next year. So that's one of the reasons I want to fight like in September and October, to be able to fight again in the first trimester of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you would be main event for the first show at the Sphere, the one in September.
Yeah, I think there's no more fights, me being like co-main event or...
Alexander Volkanovski tells his construction workers that he used to be a UFC champion and that he beat Max Holloway 3 times.
Mate, you're doing it wrong. You do it then. And don't be a smart ass, mate. I'll sort you out. I used to be a UFC world champion.
Yeah, sure you did, mate.
Mate, I'm telling you. Yeah, so like I said, I was a UFC champ. And I thought, you know what, I want another belt. So I went to go for a champ against Islam Makhachev. Yeah, much bigger than me, a division above, Dagestani wrestler. Everyone thought I was mad. They thought, you got no chance, mate. And mate, you should have seen it. It was one of the best fights you will ever see. Mate, it's not the point, mate. I got robbed. It's not the point. If you're such an athlete, why are you eating a meat pie, mate? Once I lost 13 kilos in 11 days. 11-day notice I got, 13 kilos. Working hard to make a living. Defending my UFC title against this jiu-jitsu specialist. Everyone thought if he gets put in a submission, he's done. There's no way. And I got put in the deepest guillotine you'll ever see. The whole world stopped. They thought there's no way. It's game over. Game over. He's tapping. He's going to sleep. I just kept going, pulled through, and then got on top and just gave it to him, mate. You should have seen it.
See that BMF fight the other night?
Mate, yeah, BMF. Bless Holloway, mate. Pulling at the ground. Let's go. Last 10 seconds, knocked him out, mate. I beat that bloke 3 times. Well, you fellas don't believe me, do you? Here, I'll show you. I've got proof. My phone's dead. But anyway, I've got a rematch to worry about. I'm going to go do some training. Where's he going? Job's not even done.
That is all for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because it is very important to us. And thank you all in advance.